from all these years of casting finals and everything, one thing that I have learned to look at to see if the players are relaxed or not is just how much they move while they're sitting in there. A lot of times when you see the players just sitting down and then just looking down, it is that is the body language of a person that is trying to calm down. But when you see a player just kind of just moving around, talking to each other, kind of having this little conversation, that is a person that is already in the zone, man. There's nothing more dangerous. There's nothing more scary than just being in front of someone who is under a lot of pressure and still being completely composed and relaxed.
I think that comes from competitive experience, right? For Nova Esports, they haven't been in the scene since 2024, and right now coming to 2026, it's been almost 2 years of them competing in honor of Kings Esports here. So for them, this is nothing new towards them in the final stage. For NONGSHIM REDFORCE, same 3 players. We have Seri, Illusion, Haku. Question is, can Ratel and Namu be composed like you mentioned is the key factor in here for NONGSHIM REDFORCE in potentially finding that reverse in the scoreline?
Let me talk about that a little bit, man, because I do believe that Ratel, Namu, they've been doing their job the way that they need to do it. In these 2 games, the 2 performances that I have had the most questions about have been from Haku. If we are very direct with this, not pointing fingers, but the person that needs to really step up right now, it's gonna have to be him. His game number 1, Yanjian, was really good, but he could have done a little bit more in terms of communication. And for the second one, his performance on the Fate should have just left us with a very different taste in our mouths.
Which is true, right? You need these sort of like wake-up calls to really remind you that, hey, this is a potentially once in a lifetime chance that you get to repeat this exact same final. So you gotta lock in, gotta reduce those mistakes and step up when it's needed to. And talking about that, let's refocus back into the draft. NONGSHIM REDFORCE drafting the Haya and also the Algrim, but this is a key counter coming in from Nova. Locking in that Wild Rider Agudo, the moment that you get latched on by Haya's ultimate, he just needs to press one button, jump out of his ultimate, the Gorge Mobilization, and he is out of there.
Well, and that's one of the things that Haya is gonna have to be looking out, right? Who do I pull out in the big fights? If I know that there's always this risk of trying to pull the Agudo out and just being cancelled, who else is going to be out there, right? You can always just pull out the Tramfei and then the other team will not have a tank. And without the Tramfei in there, without just the biggest shield in there for Nova, might be the time for NONGSHIM REDFORCE to counter attack. That is the one thing that is interesting about Haya, right? Like, depending on who you pull out, the way that your team plays in is completely different.
Fully agreed, right? So this Haya needs to find a secondary target that potentially might not be Kongling or Waypit. It might be more beneficial in going for Muji or the side of Wendy directly.
Unyielding.
That is going to be something that we need to pay attention to as the game passes, right? Lady Tren and what looks like it's going to be a Dharma. Yeah, Dharma is going to be. They do have initiation, multiple ways of initiating, and for the big fights, they have a lot of damage coming in the shape of Lady Tren, the Erin, and what Agudo could do.
This is looking like a Chicha Clash Lane, a repeat of Game 2's direct matchup between Shren and Ratel, happening in Game 3. In Game 2, Shren was piloting the Forge Maiden Chicha, and for Ratel, he was on the hands of Martial Monk. So this game, flipping the script, both are on their opposing ends heroes here. Will the matchup be the exact same? We don't really know, but for this specific Nova pick coming in for the Dharma, I'm expecting a potential tank build coming in from Shren.
Both of these teams are gonna go with the tankier option for the jungle, right? So we've got tankier option in there for jungle. I can see a lot of sustain coming in from NONGSHIM REDFORCE. So I can imagine that the fights are gonna be long. We're gonna be in here for very long lasting fights. It's gonna be very difficult just for the fights to be short. There's not gonna be a lot of burst coming out. But at the same time, it's gonna come down to who pokes the fastest and who pokes the longest. And in terms of that, NONGSHIM REDFORCE might have an advantage.
Oh, I like how you perfectly pointed that out. Talking about poking, I think floorboard marksman is a very underrated marksman in this specific meta. This pick has one of the best late game potentials in Honor of Kings. With that Arrow Storm, once she hits that level 12 marker, with the items such as the Sparks Forge, Doomsday, and Daybreaker, one ultimate could chunk out the entirety of a team before the fight even starts. So this late game insurance that has been purchased coming in for South NONGSHIM can be the deal breaker coming in for NONGSHIM in finding that 1 point in the series.
The Yu Huan plus the Ogren in here are gonna give NONGSHIM REDFORCE so much sustain, man. Like, it's gonna be crazy the amount of sustain that NONGSHIM REDFORCE is going to have. So it's gonna come down to Rattel and Siri just finding the angles, finding the right angles just to keep dealing damage again and again and again. Now, clearly for Nova Esports, what they're gonna have to do is just to initiate onto the right people. Like, if you can get the Trampe ulti straight into the key members of NONGSHIM REDFORCE, that might be the cue for those Nova to take this to 3-0.
It's a contest, right? Does Illusion find the perfect target first, or does Shred and Waypit find the backline assassination first? So this is going to be a key contest between the two teams. As you can see, in towards the early game, there's already a very strong early aggression coming in for the side of Haku, encountering that first camp on the hands of Kong Ling.
Love that Haku over here. Like, he knows that he needs to do the movements, man. He knows that he is the one that needs to really redeem himself from game 1 and game 2, and in game 3, the way that he's playing that Ogren tells you that he is up for the task.
Ooh, nice catch on towards the side of Illusion here, already forcing the flash here. Shren does not want to overcommit. That's flash for flash, and that is Illusion out of the game for the next 30 seconds.
Okay, Illusion right over there. Sadly for him, he spent that flash. And that flash on Illusion is going to be a lot more expensive than the flash on Xuan, I would dare to say, because the cooldowns are going to be back for them at the right moment.
Falling here, coming in here with the Gorge mobilization here. Doesn't land onto the specific key target here. They are here to lay down some of the damage here. Rattel, ooh, dangerously low here. Has to back away to take that healing deal. Early game aggression so far, looking pretty much in favor for South Nova.
Nova does look like they want to finish this in a 4-0. They look like they are really pretending just that this game is going to be just the last. Like, every single game that they're going to have right now is going to be really on. NONGSHIM REDFORCE trying to make the flank, but they cannot do that as Trampe is going to come and spot them.
You remember talking about a flash just now that has been expended by Illusion being very costly?
Yeah.
Imagine there just now, Illusion was level 4, and they didn't have to back the base. EXP could have been faster, and that could have been a potential dive on towards Muchi's low health bar there. So this is really like what I always mention, cause and effect. That play resulted into this situation that couldn't be as useful for NONGSHIM.
One more time, action here at the bottom lane. A lot of the focus in this first part is going to be right over here. And that farm lane and what they can do. Can they put Muchi on a difficult position? That Erin is going to be online, not right now. I do believe that Erin is one of those heroes that need a little bit more items to really be able to be dangerous. So Erin, after the minute 7, minute 8, then that's going to be the moment for Muchi to shine. Right now, he's a little bit more vulnerable.
Minute 7-8, you're looking at like Sparks Forge Doomsday being completed on towards the hands of Erin. That's where she really starts coming online, similar to Siri here on the floorboard marksman. These two farm laners are looking at the similar timers here, but fortunately for NONGSHIM, Siri can afford to scale to a very late scenario here. So for them, if this game is in a stalemate, equal game, it favors NONGSHIM more.
So, if NONGSHIM plays it to stalemate, let's imagine that they decide, like, you know what, we're just gonna slow things down. Look at that one more time.
Yeah, Kong Ling here does find a big chunk on towards Namu here. Doesn't force out the ultimate here. That's the counter here coming in for Kong Ling here. You're looking for the engage on towards the Agudo, but the moment she throws out that furball, she gets immune here. But Kong Ling being caught in 3 members, 4 into his enemy territory here. Over aggression coming in from the Nova jungler.
It is going to be NONGSHIM REDFORCE that are going to take that first blood. Congratulations to them as they take that one, and that's gonna give them priority over here on the first Tyrant. That was really good. You could see Konglin just jumping in, going in a little bit too deep. He thought that he got the kill onto Illusion, but then he didn't know that there were 3 more members of NONGSHIM REDFORCE waiting for him.
And the important part as well, in the early game in the enemy base, there's the Guardian Sprite that reduces 15% damage taken on the side of NONGSHIM here. So that's a freebie for them to play safe in their own jungle. So a bad damage calculation coming in from Konglin, a bit too aggressive.
Well, sad for him, because right now the Tyrant is going to go for NONGSHIM REDFORCE, and they are going to have the opening that they needed to have in this game. They need to build confidence. Sagi, confidence is exactly what they need, but look at that. Mutsi one more time comes and gets the kill.
Yeah, gets the solo kill of all things against Siri here. Muchi playing a beautiful 2v2 with the hands of Waypit here. With that kill, it elevates that bottom lane, and this turret will go into the hands of Nova Esports and in towards the top side. Konglin is already doing jungle pressure in towards the Crimson Golem. Another kill goes to
Rattel
Nova.
is going to fall. Rattel falls as well. Right now, both the Clash laner and farm laners of this team are going to fall, and they want to come back.
Yeah, they want to come back. Unbridled Outburst does land over to the Haku here. Stampede, CC chain on towards Haku here. No continuous DPS on towards the NONGSHIM jungler here. Illusion caught in the bad place. No flash on towards the NONGSHIM mid laner here. Gets taken down. This is a difficult start for NONGSHIM REDFORCE. Top side, bot side, mid side, everywhere is on fire.
In the moment that we thought that NONGSHIM REDFORCE was building a little bit of confidence, they get hit on the face, straight to the chin. They're gonna take it, and their knees are going weak. Look at that. One more time, Haku wants to protect his golem.
He isn't able to do so. Konglin wins the Smite Wall right now and utilizing the Deep Frost Siege. They're sticking on towards Rattel here. Haku, that's not your base. You don't want to go there. 3, 4 members are looking to capitalize on towards Haku here. But fortunately, for side NONGSHIM REDFORCE, they do find a trade on towards Strength in terms of the cross match.
Right over here, even though it was a 1-to-1 trade, Xuan is going to fall to the cost of Haku. One more time, the jungler from NONGSHIM REDFORCE is going to be taken down. Slowing down Haku, slowing down Siri, it's the best thing that could happen for Nova.
And Nova's confidence starting to ramp up ever since that game 1 and game 2. Starting from Muti's solo kill onto a Siri, then Shren finding the initiation onto Rattel. And it's leading towards his 2,000 gold lead healthy currently for Nova Esports to once again put focus on this Crimson Golem.
Even though the fight is right over here, Rattel is nowhere to be seen. The Unbridled Outburst comes in, and look at that. Nova one more time. They try to take control of the red buff.
They are controlling this game so well, utilizing the Unbridled Outburst to zone away from Haku's Smite range and Shren. Man-marking Rattel, making sure that he doesn't get a proper flank angle on towards the Nova members here. And it's looking really, really tough for NONGSHIM as towers are just falling rapidly.
Has destroyed a tower.
The tempo right now is working in for Nova Esports. 7 minutes and 30 seconds, and they're already just knocking at the doors at the high ground of NONGSHIM REDFORCE. This is not what NONGSHIM needed. Completely the opposite.
Yeah, completely the opposite right now. We can see Konglin finding a good position here. Uses a more mobilization on towards Rattel here. Rattel has to force the flash. Shren comes in with the truth. Doesn't find on towards any single member here. On towards the flip side here. Haku getting man chased down by 4 remaining members of Nova Esports here. Coming out of the Moonscape Mirage. Haku is the sole member to be sacrificed coming in by NONGSHIM.
Haku falls, and right now that tier 2 turret is going to be under siege. The minions are coming in, and Nova Esports knows that they could actually take onto this one even without the minion wave.
Yeah, this is looking like Nova amping up the pedal and refusing to pull this game to a late game marker here. We talk about this. The draft looks insanely good for Siri if he can pull it towards the late game. But that's what you want. You want the late game, and Nova is denying them. Look how much pressure they're putting on towards Rattel. Everywhere he goes, he's man-marked by Shren. He's zoned out by all the levels of CC provided by Nova.
Siri right now with only 5,400 gold, that's not going to be enough for him to really be online. On the other side, Erin having such a great time.
Yeah, Muji is so ahead in the curve right now. Check out Lucian here, trying to find for a flanker. Strand does find on first truth on towards Ratel. That's one member down, coming in for the South NONGSHIM REDFORCE. Haku dangerously low, caught in the midst of multiple members here. Muji already a double kill, gets the kill onto Siri, make that a triple here. Looking for a quadra here. Risky Mirage. That is a potential pentakill that will be going in for the hands of Muji. Nova lands a pentakill.
Pentakill!
Player here, that's $500 in total bags of Muji.
Muji comes in the moment that we thought that NONGSHIM REDFORCE had seen already a very grim future. It turns into a reality. They see their crystal under siege, the minions come in, and it's gonna be game 3 for Nova Esports, a 3-0 advantage for them right now.
Below 10 minutes, 9 minutes 50 seconds, your Nova securing 4 match points against NONGSHIM REDFORCE right now. You have to start worrying. NONGSHIM, what is your secret weapon? How do you come back from this landslide lead against Nova?
NONGSHIM wanted to play it to the late game. They wanted to wait for them to scale up, just to try to scale up and then just get bigger and bigger, stronger and stronger. The problem in here is that Nova did not allow them even the chance to make it there. They needed just Siri to be online, and Siri was nowhere to be seen. Haku was falling again and again, and Nova Esports just showing to us how to really reply back when someone wants to go to the late game. You just step on the gas since minute 1 and finish the game, not even in 10 minutes.
I think the Kongling pick on towards the Agudo was such a smart pick coming in for the side of Nova Esports coaching staff. They see the Ogren, they see the Hyatt, they're like, wait a minute, this is a perfect Wild Rider Agudo game because number 1, Agudo into Ogren is a fantastic matchup. All the spawns coming in for the spell, 1 counters Ogren pretty hard. Number 2, the Agudo matchup into the Haya is also a fantastic matchup. If Haya wants to reel you in with the ultimate, you just gotta press 1 button. Throw your ultimate on towards the enemy and you are out of that tether from that Evernight aspiration.
I think at the end of the day, since the BP, it was really clear that Nova had predicted what to do in here after they saw the first 2 picks coming in from NONGSHIM REDFORCE. And after that, it was just a matter of execution. It is not only winning the BP, you need to win the game as well. And they executed that perfectly. You start seeing the numbers. Look at Muji on that 8-0-1. Amazing, gigantic performance from him.
Yeah, and also a pentakill of all things here. For those who are new to Honor of Kings Esports, if it's a regional or international tournament, there's this thing called King's Moments rewards here. So when you get a pentakill, you are awarded $500 directly to Muji himself and $100 each to your teammates here. So collectively, Muji gets $500 and every single member gets $100. That's $900 from a pentakill.
Yes, exactly. Can you imagine? Just out of that, he's going to be buying dinner for everyone. Congratulations to him. It is the pride of just being able to have the bragging rights of the pentakill. Not only an international tournament, in the final of the tournament. What else can you expect?
You don't expect at all because right now, Nova Esports, game 1 was very equal between these 2 teams. Game 2, we see there is signs of hope for NONGSHIM REDFORCE in team fight, but game 3, every single rotation from Nova, every single team fight from Nova just outdid NONGSHIM here. We were looking at bot side, Muji solo killing Siri, top side, Ratel being caught by Shen's Dharma, and jungle, domination coming in from Nova Kongling.
In all different sides, Nova Esports was just superior to NONGSHIM REDFORCE, right? So I am really looking at the game where Nova comes in, they win the BP, they win the execution, they win the fights, finish it under 10 minutes. Psychologically speaking, they are having the best day of their lives. But on the other side, NONGSHIM REDFORCE right now, what do you do? Like right now, shoulders are starting to feel heavy. Right now, it's difficult just to kind of like put a smile on your face or something. It is gotta start just feeling helpless just to go to your teammate and be like, it's okay, we can still do this. When you come to the game 3 and then just get dominated in such a flashy fashion.
Exactly right, Isaac. Where we are looking at all these psychological factors here, we keep saying that yes, you need to calm yourself, you need to compose yourself, but right now, the pressure is on towards you. Drafting no longer works. In game, you're looking at pieces that's being shattered. Your game plan is being tumbled by the side of Nova Esports, and they are figuring out from minute 1. So for NONGSHIM, maybe the next step is to play your absolute best and see what it allows you to. In a sense, if you still do your best and you bow out, it's still respectable. But let's focus on this specific matchup that you mentioned here. Look at this chart of Muji versus Siri. That is just absolute domination by the Nova family.
Muji just puts it right over there. If you want to know exactly how to play this game, just go and just watch his POV. Just watch his POV and then you will understand exactly what it takes to be a top level performer in this game. Just the speed of his fingers, the angles that he gets, at the same time that he's just not only giving but receiving information from his teammates. One more thing that he's going to be receiving is going to be that MVP. On the Laurel Princess airing 801 on the KDA, Mutsi is going to climb up one more MVP.
A pentakill, $500 for himself, $100 each for his teammates here, and also another MVP title under his names here. So far in the knockout stage, Muji and Siri are tied for the most MVPs, and with that, Muji overtakes Siri and is right now tied with Wendy for the most MVPs in the playoffs.
Red team has slain an enemy.
Wow. Like, this was just Nova all over the place, man. Since minute 1, right over here, look at that. There was nothing that they could actually do. Like, look at that, Haku taking on to 4 members. We talked about the fact that they might have the sustain, right? Because of the way that they draft. But you cannot sustain when there's such a big gold gap in between you and your opponents.
You really cannot, and look at this pentakill here. Everybody was like, okay, it's Muji's pentakill, we get extra cash. Everybody, stop, hold yourself. And Shem was like, inside, it's like, okay guys, I'll take the debt, I'll take the debt here, I'll take the L, so we can get more money in towards the bank here. Getting that pentakill for Muji here. Fantastic stuff here. So now we realize, who's vibing the most during the Afghan concert? It's not the audience, it's not NONGSHIM, it's Nova Esports.
That's completely true, man. Right now, there's Nova just vibing in there. I can imagine that they're all laughs and all hugs over there in the room. On the other side, NONGSHIM Red